Hello and welcome to the Afri Dominion Show. My name is Freeman Singirankabo, and thank you so very much for taking some time out of your busy schedule to join our program today. Those of you joining us live, especially if you're joining us live from the social media platforms, be it public platforms or private platforms, welcome, welcome, welcome. And thank you kindly for the opportunity to come and hang out with us. Thanks to all of you as well, joining us live from your local televisions and radio station. We are super excited, guys, for the opportunity to serve you today as well. It is really, really one of these lifetime opportunities that we have to come in front of you, regardless of where you are, what part of the world that you may be located in, and actually get to have one-on-one with you guys, and you having an opportunity to come actually and have a saying in the conversation that we have today, all in real time, with without anybody losing a word, without anybody being refused to have a saying in the program. And I am super excited, guys, and a huge thanks to the networks also broadcasting this signal, because it is not every day. It never used to be an everyday thing where you can actually come in and get to say something crucial, something important on behalf of the voiceless brothers and sisters back in the days. But now we can, and we are super excited and super humble for the opportunity to do that. And it's for this reason, guys, I'd let you know that because of this opportunity to speak up, we speak boldly, we speak truthfully, and we speak with no apologies whatsoever to any one of you because of the conversations that we have, because of what we've been caring for our lives. As far as our conversation, the truth about our existence, our families, our communities, and so forth, it hasn't been spoken for so many years. So you can imagine right now we are super pregnant with stories, history, so many things to share with each and every one of you guys. And because of that, we get to talk. And we get to actually have a saying in a lot of different things that most of you have never heard of before. So we literally would always speak to you guys truthfully, boldly, and with no apologies. I also want to let you know that every single conversation that we have here, it's driven by the spirit of truth, love, and trust. And these are the benchmarks by which we would love each and every one of you guys to measure both the validity and the truthfulness of everything that we are sharing with you. Why? Because we believe that what we have to share, it's so important enough that even if we have a slight mistake, it is our desire and it is our hope that you help us rectify it right then and there. Do not wait for a year, 2 years, 3 years for that to be rectified, okay? It's really one thing that I do ask all of you guys joining our programs every single day when we are airing the program, to make sure that we all stick to those benchmarks. Truth, love, and trust all the way, guys, with no exceptions. Be it me or anybody else that you may see here, all of us who want to use those benchmarks in each and every one of the programs that we have today. And for those reasons, I want to make sure that all of you who have something to say, be it a comment, be it a feedback, positive or negative, you know when to, where to direct those feedbacks, and we will graciously take them and accept them with humble. So make sure that all of you want to get in touch with us, especially if you also want to come and join the program as it happens in real time and know how to get in touch with us. So the main location where you can find us out, it's on our website, which is www.afridominion.com. www.afridominion.com. Over there you find our contacts information, be it a phone number, be it an email, be it a social media handler, even some of the links that we find important that we would love to share with each and every one of you guys. Our main email, which you can use to shoot as a message, shoot as a message at any given time, it's info@afridominion.com. Our phone numbers are also there. They're open. We don't hide them because we want you to reach out to us, both office numbers and our cell phone numbers for social media. Those of you on social media, reach out to us. We're not hiding, and we would love to receive each and every one of your comments, and at the same time do participate to what we got going on here. I also want to take it further and ask that if you do find the programs that we have here at Afri Dominion show, please consider supporting our programs. We are literally full. We have the full responsibility of the programs, from the production to the financing, everything. It is all thoroughly, literally produced by you, the people, all of us together. So do consider supporting us, be it financially, be it creatively, even time-wise. We have so many areas that we can definitely find you to be a part of who we are and what we are doing each and every day that we broadcast live in all these different platforms and stations and studios that we get an opportunity to appear to you guys. So please, all of you, we are literally giving you a huge welcome, a huge invitation, and we want you to be in a fight together. This is a fight for our survivor. This is not a fight of yours. This is not a fight of just today or tomorrow. We're talking about our lives, guys. We're talking about our family lives, our community lives, our nation lives. It's very important. So we're living in a new season, in a new time, where we are fully responsible and fully accountable. So what better ways to do it than doing it publicly? Because then from there, any errors, any mistakes, all the successes, you can enjoy them together with the brothers and sisters, with all brothers and sisters all over, those of you who choose to be a part of it. So welcome to all of you. Really excited for the opportunity to come in front of you. Really excited for this program that we really are putting together every single day. So many brothers and sisters, so many stakeholders, and a huge thanks to each and every one of you guys who is a part of the production. We are really grateful and very humbled by the gesture in which we, in what we are doing. And I want to go right ahead and jump to to just a quick intro, and then we get right in the show. Those of you again joining our program for the first time, this is a unique program. This is a unique program that you barely see, that you barely have. Why do I say that? It's a program that actually expresses our own views, our own history, our own experiences, the good, the bad, and the ugly, all in one. We just make sure that we actually bring those stories to you in a way that's acceptable by some of these networks, so they do not cut us out. But one of the big things that we are very strong about is the truth, love, and trust. We want to speak to you truthfully, guys, boldly and with no apologies, because our lives is not a game. Contrary to what some of you say, I'm not playing. I'm living to the best of my ability, and so are you. I would love to hope. I imagine and I hope not to be wrong about that. And with that in mind, guys, this show, it is one of the most important shows that I have worked on for so many years. Meaning, this is one of the most amazing shows that I'm really working on, and it's a privilege to be working on it. Why do I say that? Because its emblem, its foundation is one of the things that is very close to my heart, and so many others who are taking part in it. And so because of that, I want you to get to know what is it that we're doing here. What is Afri-Dominion? What is Afri-Dominion Show? So Afri-Dominion, it's an idea that inspires, an idea that advocates, an idea that encourages, even goes to the extent of helping you, all you brothers and sisters, take full dominion, full control of Africa, full management of Africa and African resources by every single one of you, sons, daughters, and African descendants. One nation at a time, all in the interest of African people, first and foremost, and the continent. And then afterwards, the rest of the world comes up. So now the Afri-Dominion Show, it is now a program or a vehicle, a mouthpiece of the actual idea. So Afri-Dominion, it's a program that literally brings to you programs of which inspires, advocate for you, the voiceless brothers and sisters all over Africa, and outside of Africa. And also encourages you, sons and daughters, kings and queens of Africa, be it in Africa or outside of Africa, to take back your inheritance of dominion of Africa. To take back the charge, the full charge, full control of Africa, your homeland, your business, your affairs. Be the ones in charge. Make sure that you're responsible. Make sure that you're accountable. Make sure that you're not going to blame it on somebody else. Take charge. Be responsible. Be it something good or something terrible. Be fully responsible and fully accountable. So the show will literally bring all that to you guys. And we want to make sure that we get to be in the driving seat. You get to be in the driving seat. So gone are the days where Africa and African people continue to cry over slavery. Yes, there's been slavery, physical slavery and mental slavery. There still is slavery as far as I'm concerned. It's a fight to take back that which is rightfully ours, especially take back your mental faculty. Free your mind from the mental slavery, which is the biggest of the biggest issue that we have right now. Ain't nobody's gonna free you but yourself. You're gonna have to put in the work yourself. Now, collectively, we can encourage one another, which is why we say here that we inspire, we advocate, we also encourage, but also help you take back what is rightfully yours. It's not like you're borrowing it. There's nothing to be borrowed over here. It is all yours, but you got the final word. Do you want it? Can you assume the responsibility? Can you take it? That's why it excites me. That's why I'm super humbled by this opportunity. So with that in mind, the program has many themes because we broadcast Monday through Friday from 12 to 1:30 Eastern Standard Time or Washington, D.C. time. During those 5 business days that we broadcast, we have 5 different themes. Monday, one theme, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, and Friday. And on Mondays, we talk about the eradication of African refugees and African stateless persons. This is one of the biggest issues because we have homelessness of our brothers and sisters in Africa and outside of Africa. This is a big deal. There's one thing of you just being a homeless, like a temporary situation, but there is another situation when you are a permanent homeless, a permanent citizenless, stateless individual. And we're fighting to uproot such situation amongst our brothers and sisters. Every single one of you, every single one of us, we have the beginning, we have a source, we have our home ground. In your homeland, it is where it all begins or where it all began. So it is quite unfortunate that today we have brothers and sisters who have become refugees. They've been taken out of their homeland. Sometimes by their own people, other times by the outsiders. Bottom line, we have millions and millions and millions of brothers and sisters who are homeless, who are refugees in Africa, can have access to their own homeland because of many reasons, especially wars, slavery, all that. And of course also ignorance. So we're fighting over that. We're making sure that we eradicate that spirit of just death that's lingering around our brothers and sisters all over. On Tuesdays, we get to talk about the Constitution, law and policy review and implementations of Africa and African affairs, African nations. Again, those fancy words, they are nothing more than management. Set of instructions of which help us to manage our homelands, our day-to-day operations on a national level, region level, and just, your own little small organization, your family, yourselves. Don't get too twisted in these very nicely glamorous words. No, don't get too busy into that. On Wednesdays, it's our testimony time. We get to write our history, our own ways, with nobody telling you how to do it. You get it from your own guts. You get it from yourselves, and you put it out there. And we get the opportunity and the privilege to preserve that for millennia to come. On Thursdays, we talk about the spirit of dominion. Again, I was talking about it. What is dominion? Dominion entails you govern, you control, you manage, you protect. You literally make better what you have found, your resources that you have in your disposal. You make sure that you are responsible and accountable for it. And you having the spirit of that, it's not something you borrow, it's something that you are born with. So we get to talk about that on Thursdays, and we get to scrutinize why is it we cannot take it all back? Why is it we can't go back and regain the original? It's already in us. There is no reason why we shouldn't be able to have it. On Fridays, we get to talk about the current events and how it impacts Africa and African people. Friday is also one of the good days, or one of the favorite days, you should say, because most of you get to have a saying into what's happening around us. And we get to hear most of you talking and discussing many different issues of interest. And then we get to collectively talk about it, and we get to have our saying, our words in it. And that's what we got going on, guys, here at Afri Dominion. Don't say you didn't know. So welcome to all of you who are interested, would like to know one or two things about our own lives, our own lifestyles, the things that worry us, the things that we care about, the things that we're going after. And if you find it within your hearts to join our cause, to join our endeavors, come and join us. Let's do it together. Bottom line, we will get it done one way or the other. Undisputable, we will get it done one way or the other. We are not that kind of generation that goes, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, master. No, it's none of us. That generation it's perishing. Most of them are long gone. They got older. They passed on. They have a few remnant of them still remaining, and some of them they also smell like like their great grandfather or forefathers before. But today, no, we're not the yes sir, the yes master kind of people. It's not us, I promise you. And because of that, we were born in this season because of what this season requires of us. That's why we're here. Besides of having the full dominion as a rightful inheritance, we also were pre-selected by our God Almighty to be here during this season, to be able to confront some of you naysayers, those of you who believe that you are the only creatures, the only being to be here on planet Earth. That's not the case. So with that in mind, guys, let me continue on, because I want to make sure that we jump right in the conversation quickly. And also I want to let each and every one of you guys know that please use these resources responsibly. And also there's a season for everything that we do. They say, our forefathers, that for everything there's season for everything we do, and time for every purpose. So make sure that you know your season, make sure that you know your time. And if you don't, ask your Father to reveal that to you. Don't waste any time. We're not here just to breathe and then die. We're here to make better, to add value. We're here because we were given a mandate. So do your part, and I'll do my part as well. So with that in mind, guys, welcome to all those of you again watching this program, be it on television, be it on the radio station, be it on social medias. Today's program, or today's topic, we want to talk about the Rwandan Genocide. Do you genuinely care? Can you pick the real juice from the GMO-Kool-Aid? I know that not all of you would actually pick the expression that I'm using, especially some of you brothers and sisters from back home in Africa. So I will try to break it down as we go. So that's what I want to talk about. And I'm genuinely want to have a conversation because we received an influx of the opinions of things you wanted us to talk about that has taken place this week. For those of you guys who do not know, Rwanda back in 1994, there was a genocide. Now, the genocide didn't just fall from the sky. There was a prelude of the genocide, or the prelude to the genocide, a war that started in 1990, October 1st, 1990. From October 1st, 1990 to April 6, 1994, there was a war happening, fermenting everything that was happening, that actually matured and gave birth to a well-planned genocide of Rwandan people. None of it was an accident. None of it was an accident. You have players, all kinds of stakeholders, from from foreigners to Rwandese people who actually executed. And when we talk about wars, we're talking about like generals who mastermind the war, who plan, who literally plan all the details of the war, and then a foot soldier who goes on the front line and get to pull the trigger. So be mindful that scenario is very true today as it was beforehand, before it was preconceived. You have individuals who have decided that, we like this little piece of land in Africa. We'd like to maintain its control. And therefore, what's the quickest way that we can get there? And all of that, one thing led to another, and another thing led to another, and here we are today, 28 years later, and we're talking about the Rwanda Genocide. Now, I want to start from backwards to my sentence. That way, you guys know exactly why I chose to present it this way. Oh, by the way, I'm being reminded. Forgive me, guys. Welcome to all of you. This is a live conversation. We want to make sure that all of you join the program. Join in. I'm reminded that Zoom is open, guys. Zoom is open. Social media platforms are open. And greetings to all of you guys. I'm actually looking at you in front of my monitors. Apologies that I didn't say hi to you guys. I was so excited. I was too excited to jump right in it. But please, all of you, if you want to come and join the conversation, feel free. It's open to each and every one of you guys. So don't hesitate. Don't hesitate to come and join the program. And we would love to have you. Actually, guys, it is quite a privilege to be able to have you, especially if you are one of the Rwandese people. If you're from Rwanda in particular, but also if you are one of those stakeholders, invisible stakeholders, who has had a part in what's been happening in one way or the other. Guys, it is important that to the best of our ability, we get to preserve as much information as possible. Minding you, 28 years ago, that's when the actual horrific memory, horrific action, horrific wars of the kind of dreams started. But the really war started 32 years ago, close to 32 years ago. So now imagine someone who was smart enough to conceive such a devilish idea and matured that idea and brought it to a reality. That person or those individuals are actually dying off today. They're really old. So with that in mind, we're remembering the genocide, but you don't go far enough to the source. Why? Because of something here in the West they call Kool-Aid. Guys, go online, especially you Africans who are not familiar with this expression, drinking Kool-Aid. It's an expression, it's almost like a negative expression, actually. Let me put it that way. It's one of those expressions where you're being regarded as delusional, as just taking things for face value, when it is just prepackaged, when it is actually explicitly put together in a way that can mislead you. There was an example, a big example that this whole drinking the Kool-Aid expression was attributed to. There is a guy by the name Jimmy Jones. Also, you guys should look him up, especially you Africans. Jimmy Jones is one of those Americans back in the days who had a cult. He had a cult of what I think it's called the People's Temple, if I remember correctly. So he led a bunch of people to a suicide mission, if you may put it that way. I believe it was approximately more than 800 people or 900 people, Americans, were led to a slaughter, to death by Jimmy Jones. Ask me how? You go Google it, or you go online and type Jimmy Jones, or go online and type drinking Kool-Aid. You Africans who are not sure of the expression that I'm using. So now I'm actually just borrowing this expression and I'm attributing it a little bit to Rwanda and Rwandan people, and also the Rwandan experience, the genocide. And which is why I say, can you pick the real juice from the GMO-Kool-Aid, from the genetically modified Kool-Aid of the Rwandan genocide? This is literally what I meant by that. Why do I say that it's genetically modified Kool-Aid? The war, I'm here today talking about an experience, talking about the most darkest time of our brothers and sisters of my nation, Rwanda, of my brothers and sisters, Rwandese people, my family, myself, because of something that was genetically created. It was created from very nice fancy building here in these nations that we are in. The origin of what we are talking about today isn't from Rwanda, isn't from Rwandese people, isn't from the Great Lakes region people. It is far, far from Africa. However, we became the foot soldiers. We executed the masterpiece. We literally executed the masterpiece. And not only that, our own people participated in the management of selling out the rest of us. Even today, they're still participating in it. So this is not something per se just for Rwanda. It's actually a mirror of what's happening in Africa, the whole entire Africa. Africa, it's managed, it's ruled by non-Africans since 1895. The rest of the continents, from here in the Northern America, South America, Europe, Asia, Australia, they got together in what's called the Berlin Conference and decided that they wanted to literally have a property or a piece of land called Africa. And everybody wanted to slice his or her own piece, regardless of the fact that Africa wasn't theirs. They conquered. They took by force. They are still taking by force Africa and African resources. And consequently, every single plan that was conceived back in 1895 explicitly, because that's when now they created maps. They created a little region that they wanted to take over. Every single piece of plan in action, literally it goes back to that era. And before that, they were fighting what I can call slavery wars. They had found, these black people slaves for the rest of the, for the rest of the globe, for the rest of the planet Earth. They found people who are half breed, half humans. They seem that they look like they were, but also that is just rubbish. I want to put it out there. So because of the understanding, because of the convoluted ideas from back in those days, from the rest of these nations, African themselves who were also greedy, they took an opportunity and they participated into, that devilish idea, those devilish plans. 1895, they had already infiltrated the whole entire continent of Africa. And they were slicing little pieces of Africa. Imagine me coming in your house and I'm like, this is mine. From today on, this is mine. It's like when gangsters took over in some of your neighborhoods. Guys, we have gangsters in suits and we have thugs. Thugs are those who looking a bit different, but you got gangsters in governments also. Gangsters in this institution, like this very prestigious institution ran by gangsters. The change is the environment. They've taken the ideas, instead of working the streets, looking raggedy, looking scary. Now they dress in suits, beautiful suits. They go in high-rise buildings, carry out the same ideas, only in different environments. So, from 1895, Africa is sliced into pieces. The European, they take their own little pieces, the Northern America, the Southern America, the Asian, and all of that. The only people who didn't take a piece, African themselves. Imagine how ironic it is. We were subjects. They consider us as subjects. Hence, no harm, no foul. The same way you can go and say, this is my chicken. I can do as I please with my chicken. This is my goat. I can do as I please with my goat. That's my monkey. I can do as I please because that's my monkey. That's my gorilla. I can do as I please because that's my gorilla. That's my African. I can do as I please because it's my African. You get the picture. You get the idea. So another human being looking at you because of a skin color difference, and they determine that you are a gorilla, a subhuman being, a monkey. And hence, whether they kill millions of you, whether they take over your home, your real estate, and everything within your real estate, that doesn't really matter because you're not, after all, a human being. Guys, these are the ideas that have been leading some of these greatest nation, as you are told. Some of the biggest powerful nations that exist today, they're driven by those ideas. For instance, I want to call it out because it's there. You guys go on the internet right now. Pull up the United States Constitution and read it. There is a sentence where people of color, aka black people, are 2/3 human beings. We're talking about the United States Constitution that we are actually we are using today in 2022. Minding you, I was graciously given the citizenship of the United States of America as well. I'm aware of that. So within the Constitution of the United States, I just picked it out as an example. In words, I am 2/3 of a human being. I'm not fully a human being. Neither are my brothers and sisters human being, fully human beings, according to this piece of masterpiece document created, or that the whole entire country is going on by. Now, ask me, actually don't ask me, I should be the one asking you guys. After 240 plus years, one of the most powerful nations believes on a piece of document that rules the land, that I'm a 2/3 of a human being in 2022. Now think about what now they think of you, now the real deal, okay? Imagine, I'm actually the real deal. The people of color, the black people, the African Americans, the slaves who were brought here to the United States were considered 2/3 of human beings. And therefore, all the atrocities, everything that is horrific that was being done towards them is the same way you will be just doing some heinous things to not a dog, to any other animal. Dogs got better dogs got better rights than some of the people around in the areas. Now, why am I saying all of this? First and foremost, fact check me, because I'm giving you specific references. Go and check. Secondly, if you think of me as a 2/3 of a human, should you really care anything that you do towards me, towards my family? Should you care if you come and take over my real estate? Should you care really being a decent human being towards me? I think not, because after all, we're not the same. And that's part of what they call discrimination, if my memory serves me correct. I'm not a smart guy, but I think that's a part of the discrimination. Why am I saying this? Today, the systems of which are ruling this entire planet Earth, it's so convoluted. The systems themselves are so it's like the system are poisoned already. The ideas behind the system, the ideas driving the systems are just horrible. And because of that, you cannot expect someone in that system to do better, to do different than what the system is telling them to do. I hope you guys are following me correctly. Meaning, do not expect miracles from someone who's not an angel. It will be irresponsible for you to expect a thief to be a decent human being when all you know is stealing. You cannot expect a lion to become a sheep just because you're giving it a sheep uniform. And do not expect a sheep to become a lion just because you're graciously giving it a new piece of suit to put on. You are who you are. All of us, we are who we are. Behaviors, characters, you can see them. But also, worst part of it, your thinking, your mindset, what you have put here controls everything that we do. So coming back now to the Rwandan genocide, this is a masterpiece plan that was pre-packaged, pre-planned, and we executed that plan. It starts from October 1st, 1990. I'm talking about the execution. And before October 1st, 1990, nations got together. Same nations who are taking the real estate of Africa. In particular, there's a real estate right now that's been called the Congo, Zaire, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo today. It's one of the wealthiest piece of land in Africa right now. Right where your cell phones, all the pieces within your cell phone, the most important pieces in your cell phone are found. Right where the uranium for atomic bombs is found. Right where coltan, which is one of those natural resources that is so used throughout so many things that we need here, is found. The natural resources in that piece of land is causing many millions of deaths since October 1st, 1990, and before that. So nations who are hungry for the natural resources, they are taking over, they're coming by any means necessary. So they're planning for ways to remove the original people from there and taking it back. Whichever way they do it, they don't care. They just want what the land has. And that's where we come in and we choose to actually protect our land, protect our lives, or perish and die. Simple as that. So far, we have about 15, and the numbers continues. The number continue to rise. 15 million, guys. Millions of human beings, or I should say 2/3 of human beings, as you say. Even though I'm just saying it, I don't believe in it, but that's what they're saying. So it's okay not having justice for 15 millions, 2/3 of human beings. Because if it was 15 millions of the true human beings, I'm sure it will be a different song, especially right now. I hope you're understanding, you're reading me correct, because I am explicitly picking my words carefully, just in case you decide to cut us off. So, the genocide that took place in Rwanda, you have the biggest nations that's ever been on planet. Currently is the United States. It's one of the biggest powerful nations, militarily, into so many things that you may wonder. Economically, they got money and all of that. So you got the United States, you have the Canadians, you have the United Kingdoms, you have France, you have Germany, you have China, you have Russia. You also have the Australians. It's many of them, guys. It's many of them. At least I just named 8 of these nations. Okay? These 8 nations, they knew what was going on. They knew what was going to happen before it happened. And not only that, they actually have taken the liberty to train some of the errand boys and errand ladies to do the work. Who were those errand boys? The Museveni and Kagame and the likes. So Kagame, who is president of Rwanda today, officially speaking anyway, he's number one in charge of Rwanda. Number one in charge. Was trained, given the means, given the training, given the tools necessary to carry on a war in a peaceful nation. On October 1st, 1990. Guys, I would hope that you actually find me Kagame and pull him out there so people can see. And I'm mindful that we don't have enough time. But I want you to know that the Kagame, who is a part of the Rwandan Patriotic Front, he's the president of Rwanda today. He was talking about people being manufactured, okay? As you manufacture people, which is something really interesting that he said. So he talked about people getting manufactured, and throughout the manufacturing of people, he mentioned somebody. Paul Rusesabagina, he didn't say the name, but based on the teaching that he said that he was manufactured. You pull out someone and they do what you want them to do. Kagame himself was manufactured, power-wise anyway. Nobody can manufacture another human being. Let's just be real. But he was also brought to power. Excuse me for a second. So he was brought to power. Kagame and his friend. Fred Wigema. I don't even know if I should call it a friend because I really don't know the families very well, except that I know that both of them were in army together. They were helping Museveni, who was the president of Uganda, to take back Uganda when he was fighting. Excuse me, guys. It looks like my system decided to lock me up. Anyway, why am I mentioning this? Kagame has been a part of a very long, specifically and meticulously planned, a beautiful plan actually, even though it was a devilish plan, to take over Africa. So Kagame, it's one of those bus boys, it's one of those errand boys, along with President Museveni, to do the work. To do the work after after the masters have planned what they wanted for Africa. Minding you, in 1895, nations got together and they decided what they wanted to do with Africa. And those same plans they have been actually passed on to their children up until our times today. And at the same time, Africa was also struggling to come, to regain its own muscle, to regain its livelihood. Something that is really tough and something that is terrible, that you just don't come out after. So this genocide that took place in Rwanda back in 1994 had a beginning, and Kagame was one of the managers trusted to carry on, the war, to carry on the masterpiece. There are many generals and many stakeholders, visible one from Rwanda, who were then refugees turned into citizens of Uganda. Museveni, one of the most prevalent people who also have taken part in it. Very important piece of man. He's a part of the manager. He's a part of the management, I should say. So Museveni brings in Kagame and brings in the rest of the crew, and they are given orders from the United States, the United Kingdom, and the likes, and then they come to Rwanda. As long as they get their cut, everything else is okay. Except, I don't know whether they were told the death toll of the people, but I suppose, and I don't know these guys, I really would love to ask them if they knew exactly how many people would be dead in the end. However, also according to the public information, the plans were thinking of about 50,000 people to die. 50,000 people or 50,000 innocent lives were a good sacrifice in order for every stakeholder to get a piece of property in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Understand me correctly, 50,000 people minimum of death toll was acceptable for these nations to have a stake, to have access to the Democratic Republic of the Congo. I want you to understand what that means first and foremost. And why do I say that? It all began around that time frame where they wanted to make sure that they have access to this rich mineral nation. And today they do, by the way, they have access to that. And this access came at the expense of 15 plus millions people. 15 plus millions of people, of African people. So I don't know whether you even call that genocide. I don't know. Because an African dying today, it's nothing more than just killing a cockroach. And there's also an expression of cockroaches in Kenya, Rwanda as well. But that expression it's also something that is literally originated from the Kagames. And why do I mention that? There are a lot of things that's taking place today that most of you get shocked when you hear of it. But in all honesty, it's nothing new under the sun. It's been there. You just weren't looking for it. So you, the Westerners, you, the English-speaking audience that we are targeting right now, that we are discussing right now, today as we commemorate the Rwandan Genocide, there is a 100 days that you chose to tell the entire planet that was a time period that the genocide took place. 100 days of slaughtering people. Whereas the Hutus were like the villain and the Tutsis were like the victims. And for those of you who aren't familiar with those words that I'm using, the Hutus are one of the ethnic groups in Rwanda, in Burundi, in Tanzania, in Uganda, in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, also known as Zaire, also known as the Congo. So meaning the Hutus are one of the populations you can find in the Greater Lakes region of Africa. So in 5 nations have Hutus, 5 nations have Tutsis, 5 nations have Twas. The Twas are called the pygmy, it's the people you call the pygmies. So that population exists, that population is there today. It's been there for millennia. They've been there for so long. But because now the person who's actually narrating the story, they have a very specific target. You've been taught that a Hutu is a killer. They make sure that they get a machete from China and other nations that also manufacture machetes, and they ensure that that 2/3 of a human being with a machete, it's something completely animalistic on the land. So we killed our own people with those machetes. True, we did. And true, you can call us animals as well, justifiably. However, how did it happen? Where did the idea come from, guys? It's important to know what those ideas came from. Because today we are going to be asked, what have you done when you find out what was happening? Now you, the world community, the Kool-Aid that I kept on telling you that you're drinking for these past 28 and 32 years, what will happen when you really find out that your own government has had a hand in this, at least for these past 32 years? Here I'm talking about, for example, like the United States, the United Kingdoms, the Canadian, the French, Germany, Russian, Chinese people, and the Australians. At least those nations, those eight nations were on the terrain. And they had the intelligence. They had not only the intelligence, they had also the means. They were the one actually bringing these weapons, collecting the data, the information, the intelligence, studying the people. I mean, they were in the land for so long. They knew what the land has. I mean, the opportunity was and is still massive for these nations. This is something that is completely taken out every time we talk about the genocide of Rwanda. However, though, there's one of the managers who attempted to talk about it yesterday, Paul Kagame, the president of Rwanda, or the wannabe president of the Rwanda. And I'm using these words sparingly, guys. I am specifically using them because I want to make sure that I'm accountable as well. So, Paul Kagame gets to be brought in the United States. He receives the education sent by Museveni, who were using him while he was, taking power, helped by the United States, the British. I mean, guys, it becomes so big when you see how big it is, and you're like, oh my God, all along. So today, we're talking about the 28th commemoration of the genocide. That was not flourished. Now the baby of the idea that was conceived 32 years before. I mean, 4 years, 5, 6, I don't know how long it was conceived, but I know that the action plan started on October 1st, 1990. Now the baby grew until now it matured to become a genocide. You cannot find a single United States citizen suspect. You cannot find a single Canadian suspect. You cannot find a single French suspect. You cannot find a single German suspect. You cannot find a single Russian suspect. You cannot find a single Chinese suspect. You cannot find a single Australian suspect. You get to wonder why. You literally wonder why is it that no suspects are there. The masterminds, the planner, the architect of 15 to 20 plus million deaths in those nations combined. And none of them can be asked what has happened, because Uncle Joe in Rwanda is born, who has had a machete, has sorely been responsible for everything that has happened. Rightfully so. No excuse at what Uncle Joe has done. Or Aunt Susie. Everybody gotta be asked of their role in it. But isn't it hypocrisy at its best when justice is not rendered. Yet justice is preached from all corners of the world. After all, 2/3 human beings, why should you care? If I'm regarded as a 2/3 human beings, why should you spare any of your resources to find justice for me? I kid you not, guys, dogs in the United States, they have better rights than some of the people, some of the human beings on planet Earth, including our brothers and sisters in the Greater Lakes region. Because you have animal lovers, animal advocates here in the United States and outside of the United States who ensures that dogs as animals are well cared for. They prosecute, they go after all kinds of people, organizations, and institutions that actually abuse dog. However, you will not find a single organization, institution from the same nations advocating for human beings called Black Africans, specifically Greater Lakes region habitants. Why is that? Does it have anything to do with the understanding, the original understanding of who you are, who I could be, you brothers and sisters? Which is where we said, in order for that to stop, we have to assume the full responsibility. I know I'm not a monkey. I know I'm not a gorilla. And I know my genetic is nothing closer to any of them. I don't know about you, but that's just me speaking on my own behalf and my family's. So if I'm regarded as a monkey, or if I'm regarded as a gorilla descendant by these other people who think they're better than everybody else, and I also take it for what it is, for face value, I'm actually also killing myself, guys. I'm also dehumanizing myself in addition to those who are already doing it. So in 2022, I find it very insulting. I find it very insulting that we sit and we commemorate the genocide against my brothers and sisters in Rwanda. And we have all these legislatures about what has happened and who has done what, when true justice isn't going to be rendered, especially from you, who consider all of us as 2/3 human beings, who consider us as just monkeys. And I know I'm using a strong language. You know, some of your representatives, your documentations are stating those facts, those very facts. So how do you actually reconcile your views about who I am and your rhetoric, and then the actual reality? How can you reconcile all of that? It's difficult to reconcile. You attempt to during a very specific time frame because of what you are going after. But we're not drinking that Kool-Aid, the genetically modified Kool-Aid. We're drinking the actual squeezed juice, the hard kind of squeezed juice, the hard to find squeezed juice. That's what I'm drinking. I'm not on your Kool-Aid, and neither are my brothers and sisters. Some of them are, and some of them are a bit weak. They take whatever it is you give them. But gone are the days where I am on the Kool-Aid. And truthfully speaking, and this is not to say that I'm disrespecting any of you, I'm simply communicating that the so-called genocide of Rwanda, you are responsible, you are the mastermind of that genocide, yet you have yet to be prosecuted. It is up to us to prosecute you. And it is going to happen. The saddest thing is that most of you will be dead Most of you who should be facing jail. Most of you who should be literally facing jail and you throw away the key will be dead. But right now you're untouchable. So this is the culture that we have to be able to change amongst our brothers and sisters. The nations that are the first world nations, second world nations, that's how they call themselves. They have a wet hand in all the things that's been happening in our own homelands. They're employing you today. They're masterminding what to do, how to do it, and when to do it in your own homeland. And you, brothers and sisters, especially you, the weakest kind, you, the greedy types, are actually helping them to achieve what they have already put together on that piece of paper. You're helping them to achieve the plans. And I'm disgusted today that as I remember my brothers and sisters, I also have to remember the fact that you all are still also running around and actually trying to explain what has happened to our own people. Trying to institutionalize the rhetoric as a standard of what has happened. You know that's not going to happen to us, this generation of ours. 1 + 1, it's never 3. And also, I want to remind all of you, we are now in your systems, respectfully. We are contributing to your systems. All of you Westerners and all these other nations, you have black people, you have Rwandese people, you have all kinds of citizens from Africa in your own nations. They are the producer today. They're doing a lot of legwork in your own systems. Think and be afraid of the day that everybody realizes that it's the same system that's feeding them is the same system that's also destroying their own homeland. Be afraid when everybody catches up that that's what's been happening. What's going to happen to you? What do you think? We are publicly saying this, not to steer trouble or anything, but actually to bring to your attention the very thing that's happening. You're making it happen publicly, and you're giving everybody the Kool-Aid. How in good faith can you train President Paul Kagame? Give him the means, the weapons, the logistics, the support that he wants. And then turn around and say, the Hutus have been killing people. Oh, I want to play this little thing. Oh, by the way, we do have 30 minutes extra, so don't wonder what happened. Because some of the things taking place, guys, it is so devilish that only those of you who are bold enough can actually consume it. I want you guys to listen to a clip by one of the let me find him first. So I want you guys to find, there's a little clip that I would love for you guys to look for. It's a clip of one of the Rwandan Patriotic Front founders, Tito Rutalemala. This guy is like a mastermind of what the Rwandan Patriotic Front is and has been. The clip that I would like them to load and play for you guys, it's a clip where he explains how the organization was actually encouraging their own people to go and kill, to go and butcher other Rwandan of Tutsi's ethnicity. Minding you, he's also a Tutsi. Okay? And today, Hutus, Rwandan population, Rwandans of ethnicity Hutu are the only one to be persecuted for the Rwandan genocide. Again, because of the Kool-Aid has been so graciously given to all of our people, including you, the Westerners, and you see black and white and that's it, because none of you bother enough to dig deeper and see exactly what's happening. Now, this clip is in Kenya, Rwanda. I want to play it for the record so that you know that some of the things that's taking place, it is just crazy, and crazy doesn't even cut it. It is beyond being crazy. So yesterday, Paul Kagame, or Paul Kagame was talking about a lot of things. It was talking about, you know, from justice to governorship to genocidaire to hypocrisy, democracy, autocracy. He said so many things. You guys can see the conversation that we had yesterday about it. But one of his very closest protege, or one of his very closest brother in arm, was on record telling the Rwandese people that they also had to kill. They also had to send their own people. They also had to kill. They also had to send their own people. They also had to blend in along the so-called Hutu who have killed people by machetes, who have been committing atrocities. Remember, he's one of the founding fathers of the Rwandan Patriotic Front, telling you publicly that yes, we did, so what? And none of you have the audacity, none of you have the guts to say, wait, what's going on? Now, I want to warn you guys, this clip, it's in Kenya, Rwanda, so I want it to be played for the record, so that you guys get to have it translated. We know that now we have artificial intelligence that can understand Kenya, Rwanda in real time. So I want you guys to be aware of that. And we talk about, genocide of Rwanda, of the Rwandan people. Don't insult us. Do not insult our intelligence. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. I was a kid then, but I'm not a child right now. You've told me how to add 1 + 1, and you told me that it's 2. It's never 3. Today, I am thoughtful enough to actually add everything, 2 and 2 together. And what it gives, it's never 3. That's one of the things that I want to point out. And all of you, especially those English-speaking audience, I want it known that everything that's happening about the Rwandan genocide, you guys know little to none about those things happening. And it's about time you get to know, you get to drink the actual juice, not the Kool-Aid. Because the Kool-Aid, you keep on drinking it. It's been now 28 years. 28 years and you're drinking the Kool-Aid and you're talking about things that most of you have little to no knowledge of. Even all of us, we don't have the full extent knowledge, but we have been busy digging. We have been busy digging because what's been happening to our homeland, to Africa, it is beyond demonic. I don't even know what this is. So let me ask the crew. So that they can actually roll that clip. It's a short clip. It's a very, very short clip. I believe about 1 minute or so. But I want you guys to hear it, and I want it to be on the record, because there will be a time when the real justice is rendered, that all of you will be a part of it. Especially, you will not have an opportunity to say you did not know. Please roll the clip. Thank you.
ari muri kandi impunzi hari abanyarwanda bonyine bashobora kugira seriye ndigeze no ku bantu 100, 200, 300. Ariko niba ari ahantu nko mu Rwanda, par exemple mu Rwanda twari twarashyizeho ko batagomba kurenga kugera kuri 5 serire, kaba 5 ndetse uwa serire n'uyu ntibagomba kumenyana, gusa akamenyana n'uwo hejuru ubashinzwe hejuru.
Uvuga ngo namwe mwarakoraga rero?
Twarakoraga nabo ngabo barimo bagendaga bagira twabagati tunabazi bamwe, namwe tuhagira inama tuti na mugende niba ari muri emenende mujyemo, niba ari muri MDR mujyemo muri MPR PSD murimo kugira ngo batazabona ko muhasigaye inyuma aho ngaho.
Kumva iki kiganiro nshuti turi kumwe.
So, for those of you, for the record, I want to make sure that I translate that right quick. So, Tito Rutalemara is one of the founding father of the Rwandan Patriotic Front. And he was saying, so he was being asked about the Interahamwe. These are the people who have who are officially the villain, the killers of everything that has happened. So he was saying that we were encouraging our own soldier, our own comrade, our own people to go and infiltrate the Interahamwe and take the machetes and go kill. And then he was like, but there was a strict order or strict orders to make sure that none of them knew each other. They only had to come straight to us, the high command, and they had to take orders directly from us. But they had to do everything that Interahamwe were doing. This is one of the most powerful individuals still alive right now in Rwanda, openly on microphone and on the record, saying that not only they have killed, they encouraged to kill other Rwandese people, specifically from the ethnicity Tutsi. And later on, they carried on the killing towards the Rwandan of ethnicity Hutu, even though they also died at the same time. But after July 20th, 1994, now there was an explicit cleansing of Rwandese people of ethnicity Hutu, which is why when they went beyond the borders of Rwanda, minding you that I told you that Uganda, Tanzania, Burundi, Democratic Republic of the Congo, also known as Zaire, or back in the day used to be Zaire. They have those 3 tribes we have in Rwanda. They indiscriminately killed everybody. Contrary to what Kagame said yesterday, that imagine they had the means, but they didn't kill. Where he's completely full of it, giving you the Kool-Aid. He's the one actually giving you the Kool-Aid. Again, it's like, I guess, when you become old, sometimes you forget a lot of things that you say. There's another clip, I don't know if it's ready, where Kagame is boasting, talking about yesterday, somebody made a very big mistake trying to shell our territory in Kangugu. That's in the western, close to the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and murdered our people. And he's like, if you slap me in the face, before I get back, I'll think and I'll hit you right back. I mean, publicly telling the AP and a lot of journalists who were giving press conference. So Paul Kagame, from the very beginning up until 2019, even a little bit before that, his rhetoric was one of aggressiveness, absolutely unapologetic, saying, so what? I did it. So what? We did it. It's all over the internet. And now today, for you Kool-Aid drinkers, he's now on this 28th commemoration day, whitewashing everything. The only problem he's forgetting, I mean, he's getting old, granted, if that's him, because that's another conversation of another day. He's forgotten all the things that he's been saying. But also, we also want to give a credit to his PR machine. He's been also contained. He's been taught, he's been told, and really told not to say whatever it is he feels like saying. Remember, he's a president or president want to be of a nation. However, manufactured to become the president. The same way he talked about one of the Rwandese people who is currently in jail, Paul Rusesabagina, as a manufacturer of the West, or the so-called outsiders. Guys, this is crazy what I'm talking about, and I recognize that it's almost like a soup because there's so many mixed contents within a content. So this requires what? You African brothers and sisters, you Rwandan people, you absolutely need, especially you young brothers and sisters who are 28 years today. you are older enough today to actually investigate these matters. Failure of doing it would simply perpetuate what's been going on for these past 32 years. You have to free your mental faculty. You got to free your mind. Stop drinking the Kool-Aid as well, when it's a poisonous Kool-Aid. The West and a lot of the non-speaking, non-Rwandese, non-Rwandese foreigners, or foreigners who are non-Rwandese nationals, I should say it that way. For them, this is just a conception. It's just a thing, a 30 seconds kind of conversation. They won't remember none of this tomorrow. So the population, the world outside of Africa has been trained to consume content between 30 seconds to 1 minute. They will not remember most of the things that I'm saying. But thank God we have a record that stays there for life. You gotta know that a population has been actually rendered as a sleep population. They're walking sleep. They're walking while asleep day to day. Do you think that if their own affairs in their own household are out of order, that they will have the time to come and cater for your own affairs in Rwanda, in the Greater Lakes region of Africa? Think about it. They have their own issues which they are not attending to, unrelated to what's going on with you. Can you actually be expecting? Are you expecting that they come and take care of your own issue at home? Are you killing me? That's why I say stop drinking the Kool-Aid. Stop drinking the poison Kool-Aid. Get the juice, go to your tree, bring a flute, come home and squeeze it. It takes energy to squeeze the juice out of the fruit. If you do not want to do it, do not expect foreigners to come and do it for you. Figure out the means to squeeze the juice out of the juice out of the fruit. But stop drinking the Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid is not naturally yours. It's genetically created. We have so much that is being put out there today. Put out there today. In an effort to whitewash the crimes committed by the Rwandan Patriotic Front. An effort to cover what the West has done. And I'm so glad because yesterday Paul Kagame has actually touched based on, he spoke briefly about that they were afraid of what has happened. They're covering up. But he forgot to let you know that, hey, by the way, I am also covering up because I was sent, I was manufactured, I was put here by the same people who are busy covering up the trucks. This is something that you Africans don't know about Rwanda, about the leaders in the Greater Lakes region. Even, I would dare say, most of the African leaders, very few of them have open, sober mind, but the rest of them are prudents, are like the condoms. They're working, the managers. So what are you going to do, young people, especially you Rwandese people? We are commemorating right now brothers and sisters who have perished. And are you going to dishonor them? Or are you going to actually honor them in the way you remember them? You have Rwandese people of ethnicity Hutu who have been killed mercilessly since 1990. Yeah, since 1990. Up to today. They are not permitted to bury their owns. Some of the bones that you foreigners view in our memorial sites all over the country, some of those bones belong to the Hutus, the Twa, and some of the foreign nationals who perished during the genocide. But you will never be taught that because you cannot tell a bone right now of a Hutu, a Tutsi, or a Twa. There's so much, guys, that's happening right now that I, in good faith, cannot ignore as a Rwandese person. We are going through some of the most tragic memories of our times. However, at the expense of every other innocent life that's perished and that will never seek justice. And to make matters worse, to put the salt to the injury, the same people responsible for what has happened, they're the one narrating the story. They are the one who are telling you what to do, institutionalizing all the steps, everything that must happen in order for you to continue to drink the Kool-Aid. I literally wonder if people like George Washington would be looking at this scenario right now. I'm not also ignorant of how George Washington came to be. But at the very least, he got the boldness of saying, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm tired of being a slave. Let's at least fight and die fighting. And lo and behold, that fire, that desire to become a free person, led him and 50 plus other individuals to forge what's become known as the United States of America today. They committed treason against the kingdom that was enslaving them. So on one side, enslavement to you, it's actually nothing more than a normal life to another. Right now, the enslavement that we are experiencing in Africa, it is absolutely acceptable. It's just a way of life. To all the perpetrators, to all the masters who are part of it today. So they don't see anything wrong enslaving you, but they see everything wrong with you refusing to be enslaved, refusing to allow them to have what they have become to accept or to take as their own. Your own livelihood has become their own livelihood because a slave belonged to a master, and therefore you cannot own anything. It is all masters. That's why they're not ashamed, they're not afraid to come and take over the resources within Africa, because they see you as a mere slave, 2/3 of a human being. So it's okay to murder you, it's okay to wipe you out at any given time, however it's done, it's fine. And until you realize that you are a human being, a full human being, you are still going to be killed. And there will never be justice for you unless you become the justice you're seeking. So I am calling out you, brothers and sisters, especially from Rwanda. Stop drinking the Kool-Aid. The Rwandan Patriotic Front, with the help of all these big nations that I have mentioned, the United States, the Canadians, the United Kingdom, France, Germany, China, Russia, Australian, they are able to maintain the life as you see it today. There's a lie that's there about our livelihood, about our brothers and sisters who have been killed. If the knowledge that they all hold is brought on the table right now, most of you will go crazy. Most of you will go crazy, especially those of you who have been championing on behalf of these nations. So it is why I keep on appealing to you, brothers and sisters. Literally, dig. The information is there. Boldly dig with no apologies. Free the minds of your own people. Fight for the truth and nothing but the truth. Doesn't matter the cost. Because I'd rather live a free and truthful life than a life full of Kool-Aid, for the rest of for the rest of the days that I'm going to be taking breath on this planet Earth. I don't know about you, but I'm not down drinking the Kool-Aid. While my Father has given me a natural fruit that I can squeeze a natural juice out of it. So what are you going to do, especially during this 100 days commemoration? And I would actually extend it to all of you from across the world, watching this broadcast, listening to what I'm saying. I am asking you to further examine everything that's happening, because it is not all glitters, guys. It is not all glitter. An African can be killed today and it's okay, because an African is considered as a 2/3 of a human being. I don't know if you guys actually knew that. In legal documents of these nations, you Africans are 2/3 of a human being, so it is okay to kill you. Same way you kill a chicken, except that a chicken, at least it gets to be eaten. You get to be discarded. Now, crucify me if I am preaching hate, but also fact check me to say if what I'm saying is accurate. So you young brothers and sisters in Rwanda, stop drinking the Kool-Aid from the Rwandan Patriotic Front, from the government. The Rwandan Patriotic Front its hands is full of blood. Paul Kagame, the president of Rwanda, his hands are shedding blood for his role, and he has yet to be asked to be accounted. He hasn't been asked what he has done, because he's still being protected by these very nations that he's been actually pointing out, like, hey, listen, don't go there because you are the mastermind. Don't put me on the bus when we did it together. He's been saying that literally all in the open, but none of you are wise enough to catch it. But there's one thing I love about the seasons. Each and every one of us have a very specific number that you cannot exceed in this life on this earth. It's going to be unfortunate if the likes of Paul Kagame leave this planet before true justice is rendered towards them, and on behalf of all the innocent lives that have lost their lives because of the decision they've taken. And I truly hope that you brothers and sisters all over the world do realize that Africa and everything that's happening to the African people, we are fully responsible for. Both what we fail to do and what we actually do. We are responsible. If we experience death after death after death to the degree that it becomes millions of people, and none of us is openly fighting against that, and we're drinking the Kool-Aid that's being given from the same masters who would hope that we remain slaves for life, we are to blame for what's happening today. I, for one, have decided I do not want to be a part of that. I will do what I can. Here at Free Dominion, we will do what we can to actually fight against that. No more Kool-Aid, guys. Squeeze the juice out of those fruits as hard as you can. It is work. It requires work. It is what it is. And with that in mind, guys, thank you so much. Feel free to give us some feedbacks as to what's happening right now, especially to what we have discussed with you guys. Go to the websites, figure out, not just figure out, I don't want you to figure out, actually study things that are happening right now on social media. Study what Rwanda is doing to whitewash a lot of the things happening with the country. History that has at least 32 years documented, even longer than that. Stop drinking the Kool-Aid from the same people feeding you what they already know, that it's poison. Let's work together and restore our humanity. Let's work together and bring every perpetrator to justice. True justice, not the kind of justice that they want you to render. So a huge thanks to all of you making this broadcast a reality. Thanks to HMG Network and affiliates for this amazing broadcast and for helping us out. Thanks to Google. Thanks to Facebook for not cutting off the feed. Guys, we are in a crucial time period where these networks have been cutting us out publicly because we are talking like we are talking right now. If we were given the liberty and the freedom to speak the truth and nothing but the truth, why won't you come publicly and denounce everything that we are saying to be wrong publicly? We are genuine enough that we can actually find the audacity and find the humbleness within ourselves to say, we are so sorry we've given you inaccurate information. But I dare any one of you to come and speak against everything we've shared thus far right now. We hear publicly, we're saying it publicly because it is the truth. Nothing but the truth. And anywhere we have made any errors, we will also publicly correct it. Nothing that we say here on African Dominion will be done in the dark. It is all going to be in the public. So I want you, brothers and sisters all over Africa, to listen up and listen carefully. But also you run these people specifically. The load on your shoulder, it is yours and only yours to carry. Other brothers and sisters may help you, but they are not fully responsible. They are not responsible for your load. We are responsible to bring back our house in order first and foremost. While others may help us, it is sorely our responsibility to do that first and foremost. And ultimately, we are going to be accountable for that. So with that in mind, guys, reach us out at afridominion.com. Shoot us an email at info@afridominion.com. And we're expecting far more conversation. Come and hang out with us, guys. Come and let's talk. Real talk like grown-ups, like adults. And don't beat around no bushes about nothing of what's been happening. Because if it's not done today, it is going to be done by your sons and daughters. Long, long after you have been gone. And I don't want to leave any of my load in the laps of my children or my grandchildren or my great-great-grandchildren. If I can help it today, so be it. With that in mind, guys, I'm Freeman Singirankabo with that Free Dominion show. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for participating, guys. Thank you so much for all of you networks and all of viewers all over the world for this amazing opportunity to serve you. Until next time, you have yourself a great weekend. And guys, our condolences to every single one of you who have lost a loved one during this demonic time period that we have lived. From October 1st, 1990 up until today, our condolences to my brothers and sisters in Rwanda and outside of Rwanda. Our condolences to every foreigner who have lost a loved one during these dark times that we are remembering today. Until next time, so long for now, guys.